that finally happens, this would certainly be, something new in the Nigerian political map, or political cultural map. Or let me put it that way, because we know that we have candidates who come from three major regions of the country: Tinubu, Yoruba, Atiku, the North, Obi, the Igbos. And historically, we know that Yorubas hardly vote for Igbo candidates. The Northerners are also so attached, so close to theirs. So at the end of the day, if we want to go by numbers, Obi should have the list. But if it turns out to be the victor of the day, does that mean something strange would have happened in the Nigerian political map?
Well, I think what would have happened is that the suffering of the masses will have spoken. The disenchantment of the people with the system will have spoken. The fact that the APC government has broken every promise it made and added jara. Jara in Nigeria means extra.
Mm-hmm.
So it will mean that the people matter.
Okay.
It will mean that the people's votes matter. It will mean that Nigerian lives matter.
Mm-hmm.
It will mean that we are approaching a crescendo where the will of the people must matter. It will also be a proverb, an instruction to Obi to know that if you do not perform, after the people have reposed their confidence in you, you're also going to face the wrath of the people. And so at the end of the day, we are going to having a two-edged sword. A sword that is able to make alive, a sword that is able to kill. And that is what we are going to be having. People will now know that leaders, political class, we know, we cannot take the people for granted forever. I'm optimistic, even in Lagos, in some parts of Lagos, from the reports that I'm getting, that have been sent to me, Labour Party have won. The polling unit of the chairman of APC, the Labour Party has won. We see results here and there, mixed results here and there. INEC as a body has not, been posting results from the last report that I got as they should. For example, in Lagos State, there are efforts to even suppress the posting of election results. In some places in Lagos today, some political thugs, trying to restrain people from voting until the military came and liberated those polling units. So we've seen a lot of those skirmishes, but ultimately we are hopeful. Our fingers are crossed, and we believe God for the best in the circumstance.
Fingers of millions of Nigerians who went to the polls today are crossed. They are looking forward for the outcome of the 2023 elections, general elections, of course, because we have them across the various political spectrum. We're talking about gubernatorial elections to the Senate and to the House of Reps. But then the most famous one is the race to Aso Rock, and who becomes the next president of that great African country is what everyone is getting really seriously anxious to know. Will it be Peter Obi? We've seen elections where some candidates are leading the race, but at the end of the day, the tables turn and the story becomes different. We've also seen situations on the continent where a candidate wins clean and clear, yet he never had the opportunity to step into power. The case of 1993, still in Nigeria, when Moshood Abiola is said to have won clean and clear, but unfortunately he never stepped foot into ASO Rock. It's happened in other countries across the continent. We are in 2023. Let's see if things have changed. Well, let's see if the political mindset of Africans have uh, actually evolved. That will just stay with me. Let me bring on yet another
Okay.
keen observer of the Nigerian elections.
Okay.
Juma Stephen is not a Nigerian, but believe me, every African, has a mastery of everything Nigerian, including Nigerian politics. And he's been on this show, Political Point, since we started, uh, the race towards today. Mola Steve, welcome to the program. How are you today?
You know, I'm okay. Thank you very much. I'm cool.
Right. Okay, I know just like any other African, your eyes and your ears have been on the ground today. Have you been able to connect with maybe some friends in Nigeria, or you've been able to log on social media to uh, find out what has been going on in that country since early today?
Yeah, the election in Nigeria is a call for consent.
Mm-hmm,
Nigeria is like the spiritual and business authority in Africa.
mm-hmm,
So it's like by no means anybody can do something that will be of impact without having something to do in Nigeria.
mm-hmm,
So I think the election have been, but the from my observation, from reports, from even watching live reports from social media, Facebook, it was like the neck was like not properly planned, or there is a scheme to rig the election because some people when where they were assigned to vote, their names were not on the list.
mm-hmm,
So polling stations were just closed. There was a lot of irregularities that could not really be explained about it. And in as much as there's a portray of like, of course, it's too early to talk about the result. Even as much as there's trend saying that uh, Peter Obi is leading or is of a certain level, um, the tax will be, of course, the Hausas, the Fulanis, the Yoruba are the people that are in the system. So I think if Peter Obi is winning, you have a real challenge to move Nigeria ahead. The people that you meet on the ground, because the text in Nigeria are the Yorubas, and the political authorities they are the Hausa, so the Fulani and the rest. So I think it's even his victory for Peter Obi, if at all it turns out like that.
mm-hmm,
And if he is to work, I think he will need time. He will really need favor from God, favor from the people to really execute his plan as he have already planned. So for me, the elections was going on well, except a lot of irregularities,
mm-hmm.
especially from the ruling party and from the reports, of course. So I just wish God should have his way in Nigeria and make sure that this time of tribulation should come and go smoothly without a lot of casualties,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of deaths. In Nigeria, it's not like us. It's not like other countries in Africa that they could talk, but might not do it. In Nigeria, when somebody is against, he's against.
Mm-hmm.
It's having his own gang. It's not something that is just, So we just pray for peace and order.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, during and after the result. So I
Right.
think that's what for
So
sure.
since we're in the line of talking about what we are hearing on the ground and how a particular candidate is leading, a candidate who has been a sensation of the election, I I do not really want to be so optimistic. I want to take a step behind as far as optimism is concerned, because we are talking about Africa, and we just mentioned a case in '93 when a popular candidate won the elections clean and clear, but he never had that opportunity to see the state house. So don't you have such fears as well? Because everybody's talking about Peter Obi. What if Peter Obi wins and things turn around and the same game we know that happens in elections on the continent happens, and Peter Obi never gets to get into Asorok. Don't you have those fears as well?
Uh, I might have those fears if initially it was a kind of tight situation, but from the way things are going, I don't think it's really like a tight because there's a kind of willingness in the hearts of Nigerians for a change. Not the same big guns, the same tribes in power. They themselves want to change. So I think they could not also conspire to make sure that they don't enjoy what they are out for. And the population of the youth, the most populated um, um, set of people in a society is often the youth, and you have a huge support from them. So I think if I don't have fear for his life, fear for the situation, but I just have fear with the people that if at all he wins, that he will be working with. That's for me, that's the weapon of contention. So, but so far as life is concerned, he gained a universal acceptance. Everybody in US, including my brother. So everybody is like Peter Obi, Peter Obi. So it's a kind of people. He just had favor in the hearts of people. So I don't fear for his life. I don't think that he have not reached. I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay, Molasi, just stay with us. Let me bring back Taiwo. Taiwo, he just mentioned irregularities, including people not finding their name in the voter register. And we were also told earlier today that in some polling stations, the exercise began well after time. But we're talking about, more than a year to prepare for this exercise. So why do we still have these irregularities at the end of the day? Does it mean that the time is always or never sufficient to plan for elections and they are held smooth, hitch-free?
Okay, I think it is important to note that we do not observe this situation on the face of it. The political class also always has an agenda. Now, this is an election that is holding because of the tenacity of the people. Look at the weeks, leading to the election. No money. You did a Naira redesign that created a crisis, cacophony between the government, the same government, criticizing themselves. The governors of the same government taking their president, commander-in-chief, to the Supreme Court of Nigeria. There was no money. There was no fuel. The situation was designed to fail. But the political class knew that there was no way they could postpone this election. People were already on the edge. They are determined to speak to the poll, irrespective of how much of that voice is heard. And so this is a situation where the political class is going into this election reluctantly. And so you can see the reluctance. They created the crisis. They created the situation. They decided to do a Naira redesign in the midst of an election year, close to the months of election. Fuel, petrol was not available. And so you can see that the political class is never ready. This election in itself, the way it has gone, is a testament to the woeful failure of the political class to do the needful. And so I'm not surprised, but what has kept this election going is the will of the people. That will of the people that kept this election going is going to sustain it. It's called the public will of the people. It's going to sustain it and it's going to defend it. That is what I know. I don't know what plans the political class has. I don't know all the machinations that may be going on here and there. I don't know all the permutations. Some people believe that we know Nigeria inside out. We know what to do. We know where to cut them. We know where to cut in. We know everything. Some people are boasting that way. But the truth of the matter is that many people have come to my page, my Facebook page before today to tell me that this person is going to win. And I tell them that, are you God? Why are you so boastful? Why are you so cocky? Why are you talking as if you have more than one vote? You have only one vote. You cannot speak for Nigerians because Nigerians have not made you a judge over them. Let's wait for the day. If the candidate of your party wins, it is the will of the people. But if the candidate of our party does not win, it is also the will of the people. So what we have been experiencing in Nigeria today is a reality of the state of the nation and the dominant will of the people to see a transition. Nigerians are likely, if by the time it crystallizes, seem to be speaking through the ballot.
Whatever the outcome today, it will be the will of the people, and the people are ready to speak through the ballot. At least if they didn't do so yesterday, they want to do so today. The reason why voter registers have really inflated this year, we're told at some point that millions of Nigerians who had never voted were inspired to vote this time around, though they were associating it with the coming of the man described as the sensation of the time. Jumo is now joining us. Tai will just stay with us as well, yes. So we'll continue the conversation. Let's find out if Jumo is right here with us. Jumo, welcome to the program. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Good evening or good afternoon here. This is Dumo, impromptu call from my friend.
I know.
I don't know, when did you guys start?
Well, we just got on the air at impromptu as well. Just to get the feel of what is going on in Nigeria as well. So you are not late. Welcome on board.
Yes, thank you. It's happening right now. It's happening live.
So
and
where are you speaking from? Are you in Atlanta?
My name is Dumo, and I'm speaking from Atlanta, Georgia.
So tell us about the Nigerian community in Atlanta and how excited, how anxious, how involved have they been in this whole exercise? Not just today, but since since campaign started.
Yes, we have a large, huge Nigerian community here in Atlanta, and of course, like every other country, we have different political parties. But in this instance, this particular dispensation, we tend to be navigating through one goal: good governance, and it seems we are all towards obedience, because we want change in the country. So right now we are all united for one cause. Yeah.
So when you got up this morning, what kind of feelings did you have? I just want to know if you were anxious, you were excited. Just tell us about this particular 25th of February 2023. What does this day mean to you, and what has it meant to you? I mean,
I tell you, I don't know if it was in a dream, and it was like APC was winning, and I just got up. It was like heart attack. So that kept me awake from 4 o'clock. I started getting nervous, and very excited. Anxiety setting. I switched on my TV and started watching the Alive News to get the details. And I started getting calls from Nigeria, asking questions, and people started texting me on on the platform that I belong. So that calmed me down, sort of. But what really got on me is the fact that some youth back home have still not realized, that times have changed. And I don't know if they were giving money to go and destroy polling booths, ballot papers, but it's a shame. It's a shame because we over here, we want everybody to live a better life. We are opportune to be here, but Nigeria is our home and we want to go home to a better country. But those people there, like on the playful side, I told them, I said, if you don't vote for the right party, don't call me and ask for money, because I'm going to tell you to go and meet that person you voted for. And I'm serious. So, that's my stance on that.
We're speaking with some concerned Nigerians living in the diaspora, and the topic is the general elections going on in Nigeria. Voting started early today. Vote counting has been going on. Tallies are being uploaded on an online portal. We will have the opportunity to visit that portal to know what exactly is going on. But the Vote Counting Commission in Nigeria, known by its acronym as INEC, has said there is no official announcement yet as to when the final results will be made public, but it is expected that this will be in the next couple of days. And so at that time, we will begin to know who has the mantle of the people of Nigeria. So let me come back to you, Jumo, while Stella is on standby, while Molan Juma is also ready to come back. Stella, let me find out from you, if you were in Nigeria and you had to vote, in which constituency would you have been voting today?
I might be voting. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, somebody's TV is on. I think it's kind of noisy in the background.
Mm-hmm.
If
where
I'm
would
in
you have been voting
Nigeria,
today if you were in Nigeria? Stella, you have to unmute yourself so we can hear you. Okay, apparently we are having issues there with Stella. Stella, can you unmute yourself? If you can hear me, then when you speak, we can hear you. Not Stella, but Jumo, sorry.
Okay, me? Okay, sorry.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, go right ahead. So if you were in Nigeria today, where would you have been casting your ballot?
Oh, yes, I'm from Calabari, Buguma in particular. I would have gone to my local government, and my precinct is still in Buguma. That is where I would have been. Just like my siblings back home, they all went to the village, and I told them, because a lot of people couldn't go because of what happened 2015 shooting and everything. But from what I gathered, the place is very calm because of the presence of military.
Okay.
So that's where
and any echoes as to who may be leading in your constituency?
But from my elder brother's information, he said PDP took my precinct.
Okay.
I'm not surprised because my elder brother is PDP. So
Okay.
we are siblings, but my second brother is obedient like me. So he said PDP won that place. So,
okay. Well,
no
but we're talking about a Labour Party which is not quite implanted. It's true the Labour Party is coming from the helm. It has a candidate at the presidential election who is kind of a favorite, but in other elections, it's clear that the Labour Party may not, create that much impact. Stay with us, Dumo, as we welcome Stella. Stella, welcome.
Yes, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
All right. So,
what was it you wanted to say?
Where are you speaking from, by the way, Stella?
I am in Georgia as well.
All right.
The
So, Dumo let us know that it's a very involved Nigerian community in out there in Georgia. So, when you got up this morning, tell us how you were feeling. Anxious and excited like any other Nigerian? This is a special day for your country.
Anxious, full of anxiety, just want it to be over with the good news. But really anxious, still anxious, really.
Good news. By good news, what do you mean, Stella?
Well, that the obedient will win, that we will have Obi in power to bring some sanity to our country.
Now, everyone seems to be talking about Peter Obi. Everyone seems to be going the Obi direction. I know the man, Obi, is intelligent, very intelligible man. He speaks well. He masters the country's economy. But we also have two candidates who master the country as well. And they've also had wonderful track records. Tinubu, I think Lagos is what it is today, largely thanks to Tinubu. That has been said. So why do people think that it's only Peter Obi who can turn things around? Why not Tinubu? Why not Atiku, who are equally experienced?
Well, they say that if you're doing something over and over again and you're not getting, excuse me, the required result, what do? You change. So
Okay.
experience could be that you're in office, but what have you done? And you can exaggerate what you think you've accomplished and thinking that everybody else is thinking the way that you're thinking. But the thing is, you have not. People are suffering, So these two people have been in office years. They have experience. What kind of experience? Let's test somebody else and see if we can make a change, because we've been getting the same things, same result over and over and over again. So it's like I always use the analogy as like a potatoes. When the potato is rotting, it rot until it gets, there'll be a small portion of the potatoes. We need somebody that will cut off the rot. Let's start with the leftover part that is good and see if we can make something out of it. So I just trust that might be a test to that.
Let me find out about your experience with the current administration or the outgoing administration as Nigerians who live in the diaspora. What has been the relationship between you and the current administration? And do you think that with the coming of Peter Obi, should he win, that relationship is going to, like, things are going to change for the better? Can you just situate me here?
I have no any form of political connection to any of those other candidates at all. I don't have a family member that is a politician. I don't know any politician. I mean, I have friends that are, up there in politics. But
as Nigerians who live in the diaspora, are you satisfied with the nature of things back home?
Oh God, hell no. I mean, who is? I mean, if you're in diaspora, you know that I live in America, where you have family members that think that you have Bank America, a tree in your backyard, and that they can call and say some crisis is going on, send money. You know that a lot of the times that they are calling, Nigerians, we are pride now. They are asking you, but they wish they're not asking you that they can be able to carry their own, But because things are so bad that it's like a chronic disease that has been eating up that country. So I would like Obi to win so that people will have some kind of dignity. I mean, I know that it's not going to be overnight, because like I said, the rot is really deep. It's really, really deep. It's a really disease that has been eating up that place. Let's see if somebody else can give it a try. And even if Obi win, it's not going to be overnight now, because the rot is very deep. And I'm sure that he's going to have a whole lot of, people that will fight him to try to make a change. But let's try him and see, because we'll be making asking the same people that we call it experience. What kind of experience? They've been running that country to this point. Let's try a fresh blood. That's just my own
Okay,
that's what I think.
Let me bring the three of you on board and ask this common question. So, have each of you been calling your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, your people back home, and convincing them to vote for Peter Obi? Is that what you've been doing? I don't know who goes first.
Yes.
Stella, you can go first.
Yeah, well, I text them. The thing is asking them a question, simple question. Do you like your situation? Like, I got a call this morning from my junior sister, and she called to tell me somebody passed, and I asked her, "Are you going to vote?" And she said, "No, I'm not going. They've been shooting." I said, "They're shooting. You have to take risks to go and make a change. We live in America. The America here, we go to line up to vote 10 hours sometimes. You're in 10 hours in the cold. You're standing to try to vote because you want a change. You believe in someone. And so Nigeria is no different. If you have to make a change, then you have to fight for it. You cannot sit down there and so they are shooting. Let people go and die, and then you stay in the house and you're okay. The next moment you're calling your senior sister, say, this one happened. Oh, please send money, like I have a Bank America in my backyard. But so the thing is, yeah, I've been, but then there are other people also, all of my relatives that are saying that they are obedient. And this morning I woke up in their social media, there's Obi Daddy. Everybody was just sending the same Obi Daddy, Obi Daddy. I'm like, oh yeah. And that doesn't mean that Obi is going to be like the Jesus. But the thing is, we have been doing the same thing over and over and over again for so many years. Let's just try something new and see how it goes. If in 4 years it didn't make any, don't get him out of there, vote him out, and put somebody else in there. But there be a choice, not people just thinking that they will tell you what to do and that they're the one that owns Nigeria and what they say goes, and everybody is suffering. That's
Okay.
my opinion.
Thank you, Stella. Jumo, let me put it in very raw language. Have you been campaigning for Peter Obi?
Of course, I have. I'm a blunt person. My dear friend is laughing because she knows I'm always, open. I don't hide my feelings on a situation.
Yeah, I'm saying that because you people don't have the legal, right to vote because you're in the diaspora. So at the end of the day,
we don't
you
have the
are
right
like
to
neutral.
vote.
So why should you be campaigning for a candidate while you are
I
abroad?
mean, that is the least. That is the least I can do from here.
Exactly.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the least. So I'm also contributing to
Okay.
Obi's victory. So
Okay.
my
It's
phone
basic.
even ran down because of posting of stuff. And perhaps sometimes I try to hold myself to be civil by saying please vote wisely, but
Okay.
there's a way you push me and I come out forward to say please vote obedient, okay? But let me tell you a story. My nephew got me angry yesterday.
Okay.
And when I was just reminding people to please don't forget to go to the pool. He now pulled my legs that auntie, I'm voting for Atiku. I said, now you sabi, no? So I said, why? He said, because he feels that Atiku is the one that will win. I said, is that all you got? I said, you are a youth, and me, I'm fighting for you to get a better life, and you are there telling me that you want to vote Atiku. Let me just tell you, I live in America. It's my choice. I can come home or never to come to Nigeria again. So it's up to you guys to choose well. He started laughing, he later said, auntie, I know you talk too much. So yeah, I was just pulling your
We are having a civil conversation here around the election in Nigeria while vote counting is going on across the country to determine who becomes the next leader of that country, and at the local level, who becomes whose governor, who becomes whose senator, and who takes the aspirations of the people to the House of Reps. This is Apex One Radio. This is Flash Info, political point special. This day, the 25th of February 2023, a long-awaited day, of course. So, Taiwo, tell me, would you be angry with a young Nigerian who votes for Tinubu or Atiku, for instance? Taiwo, you are muted.
Okay.
You are still muted.
Okay. Am I still muted now?
Okay, we can hear you now.
A people deserve the kind of leaders they get.
Okay.
If the Nigerian people, despite what has happened in the last weeks of no money, no fuel, no school, no hospitals, everything grounded to a halt, under a government that was sold to us by the present candidate of APC. Tinubu sold Atiku to us, sold Buhari to us. In football, you are said to be as good as your last match. This is his last match, where he sold us this product. And this product has expired. This product has cost us retrogression, headache,
Absolutely.
untold hardship. And so he's now trying to distance himself from the product. And at the same time, calling the support of the product that he gave to us. So if at the end of the day, the people say, we want to continue in the slavery, so be it. But at the end of the day, a people would deserve the kind of leadership they've got. What I suspect is happening is that the system is running around. I mean, the owners of the system, they are running around working tooth and nail to make sure they thwart the will of the people. They're already sending out collated results saying that APC has won in 25 states of the federation, has got 25% in 25 states of the federation, and that Labour Party has gotten 25% in 16 states of the federation, kind of declaring to us through the back door that APC has won the election. That is the new reports I'm receiving right now. But we keep our fingers crossed, as I've said. We are waiting for INEC. There are places where elections have been disrupted. There are places where people wanted to vote for Peter Obi and they were turned back. There were places where the name of Labour Party in Lagos State was not on the ballot boxes. All of these irregularities are there. There are places where renowned political thugs who are known to APC were turning people back in different places. And all of these are online. So we are waiting. We are waiting for what happens. But one thing is sure, the will of the people will prevail. The people cannot be robbed of their will. And every attempt to rob the people of their will is going to backfire. These people that I'm looking at that have turned out since morning, have you seen some pictures of people who went to sleep in polling booths? Have you seen people when the governor of a state, Bello Yahaya, dug a hole between the road that will lead people from one part of the state to another to go and vote? The people dug up the hole by themselves without caterpillar. They dug it up and they went ahead and voted. That is how resilient people have been. People are taking food to polling units. They are taking water there. They are taking generator there. They are taking fuel there. They are doing all they can to make a statement to this present political dispensation that their time is up. In a sane country, this political dispensation and the owners of it should not be asking to be voted for. They should cover their heads in shame. They should be asking, begging for forgiveness. They should kneel down before God and be asking for repentance. It is only in a nation like Nigeria that people who have denied people of their livelihood, we are using naira to change naira in Nigeria. My staff in Nigeria is using 25,000 to buy 20,000 naira. That is what people are going through. A man, they showed him on TV, he was weeping. I have 500,000 naira in this bank. All that I'm asking for is 100,000 naira. My wife is sick. My children are ill. There's no food to eat. A pregnant woman died because she could not access money in the bank. That is what we have been witnessing in the last few days. These people have run Nigeria aground, and some people in Nigeria have said, if these people become, if Tinubu, for example, is voted as president of Nigeria, some people have said they are going to go on exile. I'm talking about political activists in Nigeria. They have said they are not going to stay in Nigeria, that is going to be ruled by a person like Bola Ahmed Tinubu or Atiku Abubakar. That is how resolved people are. We are watching, fingers are crossed. We are looking at how this is going to end. But one thing is sure, the will of the people will prevail, whether we like
Yes.
it or not.
Yeah.
The will of the people will definitely prevail. It is
Yeah.
still too early to start rolling out conclusions, as a matter of fact, but we are in it, and vote counting continues in Nigeria. If I go by some figures just reaching me here in the state of Lagos, you have the APC actually leading. You, I mean, actually leading with with a wide margin, the state of Lagos. So
Okay.
we are not yet there. Counting still continues. Well, I will just have you guys take a very short break, but you stay with me. Time for us to find out what Nigerians in Central Ohio have been going through as far as this election is concerned. Our reporter is now joining us to explain more. Hopefully, he is there. Okon, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. Honest. How you doing today?
I am good. So, thanks for joining us. It's been a very busy day today in Nigeria. I also hope it's been a busy day with Nigerians living in the state of Ohio, and precisely in Central Ohio, where you have been covering. So, before we even know the ambience within the Nigerian community in Central Ohio, can you just help our listeners know exactly how big is the Nigerian community in Central Ohio? I don't expect you to give, accurate figures, but just how big is that community?
One thing with the African community here, they don't always come out doing events or come out doing cultural gatherings, but there's a vast population of Africans, particularly Nigerian, living in Central Ohio. It's probably more than 5,000 in like Central Ohio, New Albany, and Dublin area. There's a lot in Canal Winchester, where I currently reside. So there's a lot of people. Almost every Nigerian household is glued to the TV or listening to BBC or listening to the radio when it comes to this election.
But I also understand that Nigerians are very hardworking people. The ones who live in this country, very hardworking. They are very close to their jobs, their businesses, and so on. Do they have time to really follow this Nigerian politics and this election? So have they been quite involved?
Oh, absolutely, because we still have at least 60% or 80% of our family still residing in Nigeria. And we also want to make sure that if they go out to vote back home, that they're safe, right? That nothing happens to them. So we're consistently monitoring that from overseas, making sure that they're safe if they want to activate their voting responsibility, no matter what country you're from. So we are glued to what's going on there, for not just for the sake of Nigeria, but for the sake of our families back home as well.
Before today, have we had any Nigerian groups or communities gathered to talk about the political situation in Nigeria and this election? I know in 2019 we had Shore who paid a visit to Columbus. We even had him here on Apex One Radio. Soon after our show, he had a town hall. Did we have such gatherings this year?
I am not aware of any. Maybe Deba with the New American Magazine, but to my knowledge, there's not one that have come toward my direction. But I'm sure one exists. But based on the magnitude of this election, I'm sure there's people probably gathering in your own house to watch the election to find out the results. And almost 80% of the people I know are voting for Peter, or wishing Peter would win.
So Peter is also big news here in Central Ohio.
Correct, and I believe he's been to the U.S. a couple of times. So a lot of people, even I know Secretary of State Ohio Secretary of State Frank DeRosa. He did go to Nigeria for one of the meetings. I believe Deba published an article about it most recently. So he just, based on the article, he wished that the election will be smooth and no, there's no violence that will come out of it. But even for him going from an American going to Nigeria for a meeting and realizing the magnitude of the election back in Nigeria, that speaks volume.
Wow, that's interesting. Okon, just take a break. I'll be coming back to you. Time for me to ask, to find out from Stella, who is in Georgia. Stella, do you have some American friends or some people who are not Nigerians who are interested in this election going on in Nigeria?
Yeah, well, briefly, they're not that much involved, but they hear us talking about it, and so it's not really seriously. But we know that the American government is very concerned about it or trying to be a part of it. I heard Biden congratulating or hailing Buhari for trying to bring democracy or a better voting system or way of life to Nigeria. Well, that's all I know. But we just really hope that things go well. It concerns all of us, and it's very I don't know. It's very concerning when you say that Lagos is PDP. I say APC is winning. That's what you said.
Exactly.
That's what I said. I have the figures here. I don't just want to roll out the figures, but if you want me to,
Yeah,
I can. I have the figures right here.
The
No,
earlier on in the day, well, not in the day, the various voting precincts have been throwing out numbers, and I see the kids really jubilating that Obi is winning. So when you say that APC is way ahead, that's just disheartening.
Well, that's why I say we cannot immediately confirm these figures. We'll just keep following up and seeing how things update. But that I want to find out from you, if Peter Obi wins or whoever wins, how does that affect the Nigerian living in the diaspora who does not have the right to vote, who is not eligible to vote after all?
Are you talking to Stella?
Well,
let Taiwo answer the question, then Stella can answer the question.
If Peter Obi wins, one of the things he has said he's going to do is to encourage, first, for us to be able to vote outside the US, there has to be an act of the parliament in Nigeria to that effect, actioning that. Peter Obi has promised that if he's elected the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he's going to engineer that bill, that will go before the National Assembly to empower, not Nigerians who are outside Nigeria, to vote. And I believe he's going to do that. Whatever happens today, I'm still optimistic, despite all the figures that I'm now seeing. I'm still optimistic that Peter Obi is going to carry the day. And if it does not turn out that way, the people will have deserved the kind of leader they have chosen. And that will be it. So for me, I am confident, I am optimistic, I am hopeful that Nigerians do not deserve to be afflicted with another 4 years of roguery, of corruption, of irresponsible leadership. We do not deserve that for another 4 years.
Well, but these people whom a lot of people think are going to still let down Nigeria might have learned their lessons and may just turn out to be wonderful leaders. Who knows tomorrow? Change is a constant thing. So, what makes you think that Tinubu will not be a good leader?
You don't know what it means for somebody's heart to be seared with hot iron. The heart of those who are in leadership are seared with hot iron, and they are encouraged by the followers. Now, look at during COVID. Do you know how many political leaders that died during COVID because they could not travel? Do you know that the Secretary of State, Chief of Staff
Yeah.
of this present government died during COVID? Has
Yeah.
that made them to build hospitals after COVID is stuff? You will have thought that the lessons they learned during COVID. Do you know how many politicians who died? How many rich people? How many people in the political class who died because they saw how useless the system they have built was because they could not travel during COVID? You will have thought that after COVID they will build hospitals or they will do the needful. Have they done that? If the death of their colleagues, the death of their own class did not teach them the lesson. These were people who were hoarding Indomie. Indomie, if you're in Nigeria, you know, Indomie. This is something that anybody should be able to afford. These are people hoarding food that were meant for the masses. These are the kind of people we are dealing with, hoarding what they don't need, what their children are not going to eat, what their drivers are not going to eat, what their workers are not going to eat, hoarding it. You can see the level of wickedness, eternal wickedness, deep wickedness in the hearts of these people. Those are the people you are thinking that if they now give them power. Now, let me tell you something. A child does not do well in an exam, you promote him. Have you given him, are you not telling him that there's respect for meritocracy, there's respect for performance? It doesn't work that way. I can predict with almost oracular precision that if these people get back to power, they're going to be more arrogant. Do you know in all of this, they have never apologized to Nigerians? The candidate of APC has never come out to say, we are sorry for inflicting these things on you. They kept bragging. They keep going around saying, we are going to win, as if the nation belongs to them, as if the nation is their father's property. The Nigerian nation is nobody's property. It's the property of every Nigerian. It's the property of every Nigerian, and it's not the property of the political class. And if the political class gets away with this daylight robbery of riding offshore on the will, yearning, and aspiration of the people, I can tell you that the disintegration of the nation has begun.
Jimo, speak. Jimo, are you there?
I'm there. My
You've been
bones are
listening.
my bones
Go
are
ahead.
getting. I don't understand that the result that you're seeing from Lagos, and at the same time we've seen where they postponed the election till tomorrow. So wherever, because I've been receiving some data from polling booths, people that have delivered their precincts. So I really don't know, but Lagos, whatever, we just need some votes from Lagos. Then we're talking about the south, the southeast, and the some part of the north. So I think I'm still optimistic. I don't know. I'm just getting weaker, but then my hope is that elections are continuing tomorrow.
Okay.
But please remind me the question again. I am just kind of getting. Excuse me, sir. What result are you receiving? Something?
Of course, I'm live on several news outfits in Nigeria, and I'm seeing trends dropping. That notwithstanding,
which I can send to you, I've received some messages that is telling me that APC has won the election. That's a compilation of
and some people are saying that APC can't win. Others, some statistics are coming in here with APC winning landslide in the state of Lagos from Ajeromi to.
But Lagos is just one state. It's also important to note that.
Right.
Yeah. And it's the strong point. Is the strong point of the APC candidate. So,
and given that Lagos is big, Lagos is big. So numerically, if Lagos is winning, then that is an advantage to whoever is winning Lagos.
It cannot win Lagos.
Yeah.
You will not win Lagos. God forbid.
Well, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I can remember the question you asked now. You said, how does that affect me in Nigeria, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like one of us just said that we have families over there. We will have a break, because asking for money from home when you are struggling here to survive, they think living in America is all bed of roses. But if the economy is good back home, then these things will be minimized. Everybody wants their family to survive and succeed. Things are not working anywhere. Obi has one of his slogan is from production to from what production to
Consumption.
From consumption economy to
consumption.
production
Yes,
economy.
yes, exactly. So business people are looking forward to that. Genuine ones, not thieves. So it will be our joy that our people are also comfortable over there. I think that is paramount to every Nigerian living in the diaspora. And again, when we go, the security aspect will not be an issue anymore, because once they know from the airport, they begin to trail you. It's so scary going home, if not for God. So that these are our concerns. So
Okay. Well, I think we'll be running off very soon. Just getting last words from each person. We'll definitely come back here, maybe tomorrow or Monday, but tomorrow, because there's clearly some burning news which we're expecting. We should be able to be on the airwaves as soon as some very important declarations are made. So, gentlemen and ladies, don't be surprised that we'll come knocking at your doors again. But let me bring Molan Juma to say his last word before he leaves. Are you still there, Molan Juma?
Yeah, I'm still there. Yeah, I'm
All
still
right.
here.
So, as we all await the news from Nigeria, either good or bad, what are your expectations? What do you wish for that country?
Okay. The first point I want to make is that all what's happening, even while the election is going on, for me, I see it as bedpans for change. You know, the level at which Nigerians are involved, for me, it's a real act of patriotism. The way they talk, so emotional. So they really long for a change. So I think it's just the bedpans of change that's happening. All the irregularities, all the stress, So for me, I know out of their hearts desire God to give them a candidate that will help them to come out of this mystery.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Molan Juma. If we are back on the airways tomorrow, we'll certainly need your contribution as well. So do have a fantastic rest of the day. Let me go to Dumont. So, Dumont, if
yes.
Peter Obi, if the Obedience are finally disappointed at the end of the day with the victory of another candidate other than Peter Obi, first, would you accept as a patriotic Nigerian, would you just accept the verdict?
Nigeria is known for rigging, so we've never
But
had
you
it
just
smooth.
accept, that's fair play, right?
It's difficult to accept in my mind, but maybe time will heal wounds. But I don't believe right now Obedience. No, he's still leading. He will lead.
Okay.
He will win.
So what do you wish for Nigeria?
What I wish is improvement in our democracy. I'm just happy that Nigeria is a democratic country. We have Cameroon out there, our neighbor, whose leader has been there for over 50, is it 40 something years? And
40 years, 4
that,
decades.
40 years, yeah.
yes, and they cannot do anything. That cannot happen in Nigeria, for sure. So I'm happy that Nigeria is in the process of, making their democracy perfection.
Beautiful. So tomorrow we'll just leave you to go and continue following up so that you can have more information. Tomorrow we'll definitely knock at your door again.
No problem.
Perfect. Stella, we are in a democratic game where there must be a winner and there must be a loser. So two people cannot be presidents, cannot sit on one seat. You know that so well. So if Atiku wins or Tinubu wins, will you accept that verdict fairly and wish them well?
I don't know if I'll be able to do that.
But we're talking
That's
about
it. So,
democracy and fair play.
the in sports where you have the agony of losing and the joy of winning. But in this case, I will stay on the winning side, and I'm hoping I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that it will be wins, because you cannot
Everyone
keep
is
competition.
optimistic. Everyone is positive, but at the end of the day, there must be a winner.
Yeah,
and there
there must
be a
be a
loser.
winner and a loser, right?
And so,
But
what
we
if
can't.
your side is the losing side?
No, my side will not.
Okay.
My side will not be the losing side. We can't keep compensating bad behavior. It just will
Okay.
not be right.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what do you wish for
But